First of all, congratulations on this project.
Thank you
Uh,
so much.
it's very entertaining, and yet, yeah, it tackles a very serious subject. How did you begin to, um, I guess, get this project going?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So my writer and executive producer and the star of the film, Daphne Fisher, she wrote the film and sent me a script. I want to say it was like the summer of 2020. So we were, full blown in the middle of the pandemic. And it certainly was an intimidating idea to try to like put a project together and do something during those times. But at the same time, it was the middle of the pandemic, hence I hadn't really been working. The show that
Mhm.
I act in, we were on a, indefinite hiatus because of COVID. And so I was certainly just itching to do something creative. And I thought that Daphne's script was, everything you said it was. It's entertaining and it has a really serious subject matter.
Mhm.
From a sort of logistical standpoint, it also just seemed very doable. It wasn't, it's just two actors, it's a car, it's outside. So just from that logistical filmmaker standpoint, it felt like a safe project to do in that regard. Like it didn't, yeah, it felt very feasible to do at that time.
Mhm. One of the most interesting parts about this is it seems like it's the middle of something, and I kind of, while watching it, wanted to know what happened before and what's going to happen after. Is there any plans to do a follow-up to this?
Oh my gosh, I just noticed your shirt, To Write Love
Mhm.
on Her Arms. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a great organization. Feels very relevant to what we're talking about right now.
yes.
So as of right now, no definite plans. So Daphne and I are actually, so she's the one who wrote Distance and I just directed it. Right now, Daphne and I are co-writing a psychological thriller about cults.
Oh,
And so it's something that we're very passionate about. It's not Distance, um, but it's something that we both like just, we've uh, dove in just sort of head first, and we've been in this world for a while. And that's something that I plan to direct coming up. So that's what we've been working on as a writing team. And as far as developing Distance into something bigger, it definitely could happen. I won't say it can't. It definitely could, but we haven't worked on that yet. So we'll see if the inspiration takes us there.
and directing this, these characters have such distinct personalities. How much work went into the acting and directing for this?
Yeah, so Daphne obviously was
Mhm.
pre-attached, so we had to do a casting process to find May, the older sister. And we worked with the casting director, and she, found some incredible talent and put together a session for us. The actor who we ended up casting, Lex Ryan, was actually put forward by one of our producers, Piper Barber. They know Lex. And as soon as Lex just kind of like came onto the screen. This was all on Zoom, right?
Mhm.
Um, they just they brought this real sort of grounded nuance to the role, and just so much heart. I felt like Lex's soul belonged in the car with Daphne. Lex is such a strong presence. So casting them was kind of like a no-brainer. And then as far as like we specifically because COVID, I wanted to do as much kind of crafting and figuring out the dynamics of these two siblings before we got onto set. So I had a meeting with Lex, just the two of us on Zoom, just to kind of really kind of talk out these circumstances, these dynamics, because when you have two siblings, like you said, it feels like there's a lot that
Mhm.
happened before and there's a lot that's going to happen afterwards. That's always inherent in these family relationships, right? These aren't just two people who just met.
Yes.
There is a huge, history. So Lex and I built that out together. And then we also had a Zoom rehearsal with the two of them. I think we did a couple of them for especially for Daphne and Lex to kind of feel out each other's energies, because again, with siblings, there is this kind of camaraderie often in the behaviors and in the unspoken. And you'll see some of that come out like in their behaviors on the day. A little bit of it was kind of choreographed, where it's just like, I know with my brother and sister, so I'm the oldest in my family. I have a little brother and I have a little sister. And we have so many of these, we're very different personalities, my brother and sister and I, but we have some of these same funny little mannerisms. Like we'll both like put our hands like this, or we'll all do these kind of like funny, just those almost like indescribable things. And so finding the ways in which these two characters, May and Joey, who are obviously so incredibly different, but yet have these kinds of like things that they'll do in sync, because at the end of the day, they're sisters.
Awesome. And having this, premiere at Dances with Films, which is their 25th festival, and it being in the TCL Chinese Theater, what does that mean to you?
Uh, the Chinese Theater is great. Dances with Films is an incredible film festival. I was actually first welcomed into their community in 2020. The last short film that I did, called Throw Like a Girl, we screened at Dances with Films, but it was 2020, so they did the entire fest digitally.
Mhm.
And I was so impressed with the way that they made it so interactive and welcoming. Like they would have these digital Zoom chat rooms. And I actually still met tons and tons of filmmakers. And there was something almost sort of like efficient about it, that we'd be in these chat rooms and we'd be saying hi and asking each other questions. And then like in the chat, we would just like drop our Instagram handles. And so it was just so easy to just go, oh, boom, 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 boom. We're all connected. And these are filmmakers who I am still like very much in touch with. This was like the festival from a couple years ago. So I loved already just sort of seeing the community that Dances with Films like really intentionally cultivates. I think that's amazing. And yeah, screening a film at the Chinese Theater is, I mean, what razzle dazzle, like it's very, very Hollywood, feels really fun.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and I hope you have a great time on that green carpet.
Thank you. Yeah, we had the opening night last night, and I definitely put on a dress and heels and was on that carpet.